Alrighty, we have a box with just a switch in the box, and they'd like to have an outlet in it for like plugging in a vacuum cleaner to clean the halls, but we're putting it in this storage room so that the tenants don't use it. Here in the country I was born in, we use 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps, 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare or the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors. However, you may find white live in a switch loop or a 220-240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral. So I'll show you how to make this single gain box with a single pole switch with power coming in and power going out that switch to the light. We're going to use what's called a wiremold extension box. It's double gang, so we can put a switch and an outlet on the same box. I got my brand new Robertson 1 screwdriver, and if you look closely, it is made here in the country I was born in. That's a nice thing to see. These are the tools that you need. Okay, so first we'll start with taking our switch off the wall here. Oh, they backstabbed this switch. And we'll find out which one is live here. This was our live one. So we're going to use some 14 gauge wire to come off, and one to go to our switch and one to go to our light, or to our outlet. So we'll cut a couple pieces here. We'll cut a nice long one here, like this. We'll fold it in half here. We'll cut it about right here. And we'll strip with our 14 gauge hole. Get our wires the same length here. And get them the same length down here. I'll use a red wire nut because this insulation is thicker on the older wires, so get them all even like this. Take our wire nut, make sure they stay even here. Okay, I don't want to crumble that older wire, so I'll keep our blacks out of the way here. This is the wire that goes up to our light. This is our neutral wire here. This is white. This will be, we'll have to well, they did a decent job hooking them together, and that is a porcelain wire nut. I'm guessing that's probably from the maybe the 20s, maybe. So we'll get a white wire tail out to go to our outlet. I'll strip it as long, about the same length as the other wires there with our wire strippers. We'll get them lined up even like that. We have them the right length. Okay, so we'll get our insulation even at the bottom and our copper even at the top like that. Get our wire nut on. Oops, I'm going to make my loop back a little further, so okay. Get our copper even at the bottom like that, or at the end like that. I'll get our wire nut in here, make sure all the wires stay together even. Hold it very still when you put it together so you don't lose your even connection at the end. And we'll just make this tight. Turn it one more time. Okay, so we'll fold our whites back. So we have our white to go to the outlet, a black to go to the switch, and a black to go to the outlet. So we're going to extend this other black wire because it's old, and we'll put a nice new piece to go to our switch. And I'll strip this one so I know this is the switch wire after I put it all into the wall. It's the wire that goes to our light, so we'll just get them even like this. Now I'm not twisting these wires because I don't want to crumble the cloth and rubber insulation, because this wire is probably 40, maybe close to 50 years old. So I don't want to crumble that insulation. So now we can push these wires back into our box. Okay, these are our live wires here. Okay, this is our extension box we're going to be putting on here. And it is a wire mold box. So I got to open up this back punch out here. So we'll just grab in the back like this. Okay, so we have our round screw hole. We'll put it down here on the bottom like that. Okay, so this back plate screws onto this box like this here. Alrighty, they're working on the apartments upstairs, up on the second floor. Okay, we got our back plate screwed to this box. Okay, now since this is a wire mold box, you have knockouts here to run wire mold, but we're not running any wire mold, we're just using it for an extension. Well, I gotta put our ground wire tail in here. See, that's gonna poke through our wall a little bit there, so I gotta pound it back some. There we go, we broke it through the wall board there a little bit. So we'll get our ground wire out. These are our two live wires. We have to bond our ground to the box. Now, this is the older MC cable that's in here, so it's grounded through the MC cable coming in. Now we can put our extension on here. So this one will be our outlet over here, and this is going to be our switch over here. So we put our ground wire around this green screw there. The green screws don't like the square screwdriver, so I'll tighten that with my flathead like that. Come around over here. Now we're going to keep this ground wire up on this other side and keep it away from our live wires there. Make sure it's tight. So we have our ground wire, we have our live wire we got to hook up now. So I'm going to make sure this ground wire is going to go up and out of our way so we don't hit our other wires here. Straight with our 14 gauge hole. I want to make sure I don't touch the grounded metal and the wire at the same time. There we go.
Fred! Yeah. Get down here. Now.
Here we go. We'll close it around to screw the direction our screw turns here. Make sure our insulation's not caught under our screw head. Make sure it's tight. Okay, so we push our wires back into our box here. Screw our switch into the box here. Now let's make sure our ground is staying over this way, away from everything here. Here's our light switch working. Okay, so we have our black, which is live, our white, which is neutral, and we're going to hook our outlet up next. So we'll close the screws you're not going to be using. Black is live, it goes on the brass screw, the narrow slot. White is neutral, it goes on the silver screw, the wider slot. The bare wire or the green wire will go on this ground screw. So we'll hook our ground and white up first. And we'll put our white on the silver screw. We want to make sure we don't hit the screw there going on the switch there with our ground wire. Put it around the screw the direction our screw turns. You want to make sure your copper is under the screw head all the way around. Like that there. Now we can turn this around. We're going to push this ground wire down and keep it away from everything when we put this into the box. So now we hook our black wire up, which is the live. Always make your loop the direction the screw turns. Make sure it's nice and tight. We have a nice connection like that there. Now we can fold our wires, then go into the box here the way we want them. You want to keep it so that it doesn't hit the sharp edges there. Always push it in. Keeping our ground wire down the bottom. We don't want our white wire to get pinched either. So we can screw this into our box. Okay, we'll get our screws tight on the center of the hole here, so it's when you put the cover on, it lines up nicely. Okay, and we'll just take our nice bright flashlight I bought at the hardware to make sure our wires aren't hitting anything sharp and our screws aren't hitting anything. And we are good. Alrighty, so that is how to put a switch and an outlet where there was just a regular light switch. The only way you can do that is if the power comes to the switch first and goes to the light. If the switch is after the light, you cannot do that. Peace. Thanks for watching.